I-V-M.
If I have to tell you that my guest today is not a person, he is an industry in himself. He started what is now called podcasting when the word podcasting was not invented. He was on YouTube when YouTube was not invented. And he had the power to make the streets of India go empty. To listen to his voice, people were glued to their television sets. And his narration of the epic story of Mahabharat took the imagination of people to another complete height. I'm really excited today to have none other than
Main Samay Hoon,
or popularly everybody knows him as Harish Bhimani, as my guest on the show today. Welcome to the show, Harish. Welcome to the show, Samay.
Hello, Vishal. I was actually checking my pulse because so much praise is showered only at prayer meetings. Is it my prayer meeting?
No. This is not your prayer
But
meeting.
thank you
In
for
fact, I have not talked about your title of Voice of India. I have not talked about the 22,000 plus recordings you have done. I have not talked about the President Medal and Award you got just a couple of years back. I mean, your life is like just an entire chain of amazing events. But I want to start directly with your first big breakthrough, which is being Samay. So when you had to play or do a voiceover of not a person, because Samay is time, it's not a person, not a human.
Mm-hmm.
How did you prepare yourself for that?
Okay, very good question. But let me first clear the air that this was not my beginning, or this was not my first big break. No. I started my career as a television newscaster. And as Mad Magazine puts it, I was sort of number one in the field of one.
Wow.
No, it's quite true, actually, quite literally too. Because there was only Doordarshan. It was probably not yet called Doordarshan. It was called Bombay TV Center or something like that. And there was only one newscast. And I was the only male newscaster.
Oh.
जिसे कहते हैं कन्हैया था. And I don't know if that was one of my qualifications, but yes. That was my first big break in the TV presentation or TV anchoring space. Simultaneously, parallelly, came the voiceovers. Also came the radio. That's radio broadcast. This, the Samay of Mahabharat came about 12 years down the line. But obviously what happens is that when something gets so popular that your work becomes more important than you, and you're known by your work becomes your moniker, then everything else is forgotten, and pleasantly so. I don't mind. I thought I'd just clear
No, I don't think so. Everything else is forgotten. This has created history of television. I don't
That's
think
right.
so. Any voice, even today, has been able to get that kind of impact or that kind of recognition or that kind of storytelling ability.
I mean, I'm able to influence absolutely almost everyone in the world except my wife. Sure.
Well, that's another podcast or in itself, or another series in itself. But coming back to this, so how was it different for you to play Samay? Because as I said, playing a voiceover for a character, actor is very different. But putting yourself in the feet of time and narrating on behalf of time is very different.
If you allow me, like 5-7 minutes. when I was asked to do the voice of time, I didn't know what that was meant. Now, unfortunately for me, those who were asking me to do it didn't know themselves. What happened was, I was called by the production designer, production controller, I think, Mr. Goofy Painter, कि तू आजा आजरा recording है, because as I anyway used to do work for BR TV. Oh no, BR ads. Yeah. There is BR films, BR ads, BR TV, etc.
This is the great BR Chopra's production company. Yeah.
Baldev Raj Chopra production company. So Ravi Chopra and the gang knew me. I used to do voiceovers for them. So I said, all right, but it's already 7:30, where I normally don't record after dusk, because if you have been recording during the day, if you have been talking, then your voice is a little tired. Even if you are not physically tired, the voice might be. So I said, 10 o'clock at night. I said, Goofy ji, I don't. तू ज़्यादा बात ना कर. तू तो आ जा. मैंने कहा, what do you mean? मतलब आप कहें और मैं आ जाऊं? ठीक है, आता हूं. I don't know why I thought that, all right, I'll go. I really didn't do that. So I went to the big BR studio, film studio, dubbing studio. And what do I see? There's this great triumvirate. B.R. Chopra himself, Dr. Rahi Masoom Raza, and Pandit Narendra Sharma.
So Pandit Narendra Sharma was the guy who wrote the story. Or was it Rahi Masoom Raza?
Rahi Masoom Raza mainly wrote dialogue.
The dialogues.
But contributed a lot to screenplay and the ideas. Like the idea of Samay was his. I'll come to that. Mm-hmm. So I said, this is something big. Now, I have to mention here that the problem in our industry is that when we are called, they don't tell us what is to be done. Because otherwise it gets out. I might talk to someone else. 3 o'clock I'm going to Chopra. They're doing this big serial. You see, in this industry, in this creative industry, until you hit the airs, as I put it in Hindi, I'm quite fond of punchlines, कि जब तक आप air पे ना हो, आप हवा में हैं. Which is true. Yeah. Somebody can take away the idea, maul it, beat you to it. So they didn't tell me. I went there. पता नहीं क्या है कुछ. So I said, हाँ जी, script. A level, you have to give level before, like we just did for Shravan ji. So I started reading. There was this paper, handwritten paper. मैंने कहा, मैं समय हूँ और आज आपको महाभारत की कथा सुनाने आया हूँ. ये महाभारत कोई भरत वंश की सीधी सादी युद्ध कथा नहीं है. तो पीछे से धीमे धीमे मोजरी की आवाज आए चुर चुर करके, और पास में आती आवाज के बेटा ये तो डॉक्यूमेंट्री लग रही है. तो मैंने कहा, सर ये नहीं है डॉक्यूमेंट्री. आई मीन टेल मी. सर देखो जरा इत्मीनान से पढ़िए. दिस वाज डॉक्टर राही मासूम रजा. मैंने कहा जी, another take. अच्छा ठीक है. And they asked me to go.
They still didn't tell you exactly क्या है.
Nothing at all. 3 takes and the Chaturvedi, I think the record is very good record is. बेचारे ने मेरे सामने देखा, मैंने उसके सामने देखा. क्या हुआ, मैंने क्या गलत किया है? I said, अच्छा, जाओ, thank you. So while getting into my car, I thought,
ये ठीक नहीं
है. Something big is happening. I was to be part of it, but I think
I missed it.
I missed it. Was it my fault? I tried my best. 2 days later, Goofy ji calls again. वो तू आ जा. मैंने कहा 10:30 बजे. नहीं, दोपहर है. फला जगह. And you see, 2 people, Pratap Sharma and we used to sort of set rules in voiceovers of advertising mainly. मैंने कहा आपको पता है ना कि when I go again, it means
another charge.
That's right. ओ तू ये सब बात ना कर, तू तो आ जा. मैंने कहा ठीक है, आता हूं. Now this was uncommon for me. You know, really the only reason why I was going was that there are these three great people. I admired all of them. I'd seen Chopra Saab's film, somebody who can make Qanun, somebody who can make Ittifaq, Sadhana, Naya Daur. What subjects and what films and what sophistication, what sanskars. Yeah. There was Pandit Narendra Sharma. What poetry.
But, just to kind of digress, in today's world, people just can't take rejection. So while in your case, in theory, you felt rejected, but you went back again, which is kind of interesting because many people, who are at the top of their career or who are, they say, probably they don't know they're wasting my time, call somebody else, could have been the reaction.
True, that's what I was coming to. And I don't take rejection very well. I admit that. I don't take well at all. But I said to myself कि वहां जाऊंगा तो कुछ सीखने ही मिलेगा. मेरा स्वार्थ था.
Your idea was I'll get to learn something new.
At least I get to learn something.
ये क्या चीज ये लोग मेरे को बोलने को बोल रहे हैं जो
No. I said these are great people, their experiences, maybe they'll say something, maybe I'll learn something. What the hell?
And how old were you that time? This was what, in your 30s?
Well, let me say I was even younger than I am now. Yeah, sort of.
In your 30s, early 30s.
No.
This was 80, the year kab tha?
1988.
1988, okay.
Oof, 30 years.
Yeah.
So, I went. Now they started saying that, bete, we want... how they came to me is another story. Mm-hmm. There are so many, there are at least 12 to 15 voiceover artists in this category. So how did they come to me? How did they zero on to me? Is another story which Chopra Saab told me much later. So I said, बेटे समय की आवाज चाहिए. ये है ना, ये समय बोल रहा है. मैंने कहा वो सर समय कैसे बोलता है? मतलब मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ, इसलिए सॉरी मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ, इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ. यही तो आपको करना है, आप आर्टिस्ट हैं. समय तब था, आज है कि श्योर समय की तरह बोलिए. सो आई सेड ओके, आई अंडरस्टूड. आकाशवाणी चाहिए. तो पंडित नरेंद्र शर्मा ने कहा नहीं वो तो कंस के समय आएगी.
कंस के समय
जब कंस
आकाशवाणी
होती है कि हाँ तुम्हारी बहन का नहीं, तुम्हारी बहन का 8वां पुत्र तुम्हें तुम्हारी हत्या, तुम्हारा वध करेगा वगैरह. मैंने कहा हाँ अच्छा गॉड्स वॉइस राइट. नहीं, नॉट गॉड्स वॉइस. तो आप आवाज बदल सकते हैं. आई सेड यस बट it might sound ridiculous, might sound farcical, funny. नहीं, वैसा तो नहीं. तो ओके, आवाज आपकी रहे लेकिन आपका अंदाज ना हो. मैंने कहा सर मेरा वैसा कोई अंदाज है नहीं. आई गो अकॉर्डिंग टू स्क्रिप्ट, आई ट्राई एंड डू. हम जानते हैं वो. That's when they revealed, they said, we've heard your Gwalior shooting ad, we've heard your, which was that campaign, that's television, that's Satan. Onida. Their entire campaign in several languages.
Neighbors envy, owners pride.
Neighbors envy, owners pride. No?
Yeah, of course, in your voice it sounds so much more better.
And then there were so many others, so many different, some biscuits and some chocolates and some suitings. And they said, yes, you're different and that's why you're here. I said, sir, to kya kare? It should be different from all that. But what? Samay. Ji. The third time when I was called, because second was a failure too. We couldn't reach a conclusion. Third time, now I was sort of getting, professionally, technically fed up. If they told me what they wanted, I would try, give them 2-3 options. But what I understood was that they want some non-human rendition in a human voice, in my voice.
Non-human rendition in a human voice. Wow.
Okay? So I told them, baat to hai. Then I thought to myself, and I told Rahi Sahab, I said, Rahi Sahab, देखिए एक जुमला हम लें, एक सेंटेंस लें, और हम 3 लोग बोलते हैं वही जुमला, तो उसका एक्सप्रेशन अलग होगा. क्योंकि उसकी रिदम अलग होती है. यू नो,
पहले इस्तेमाल करे फिर विश्वास करे. दैट इज एक जुमला समझो मैंने आपको
राइट. हाँ, पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. नाउ माई रिदम इज डिफरेंट. नाउ even look at the basis of any language. Do you know what is Indian English?
English.
No. Okay. They keep, because I confront this like weekly.
Yeah, you are a grammar Nazi, I know.
No, because I record for global clients.
Yeah, all the British.
So it is the rhythm of our speaking that makes it Indian. Otherwise, a Bengali speaking English and a Tamilian speaking English are 2 different things. तो I said, ये जो रिदम है, तो उसकी रिदम अगर अलग हो तो कैसा हो? नॉन ह्यूमन, मतलब रिदम ऐसी हो कि जो आमतौर पे ना बोली जाए. आवाज तो मेरी ही रहेगी. तो मुझे कहते हैं, बेटे हाथ कंगन को आरसी क्या, पढ़े लिखे को फारसी क्या. मैंने कहा अब मैं फंस गया. Now, you know, it was a watershed moment. I didn't know then. I was sitting in front of the mic with some paper in front of me, which says Main Samay Hoon, etc. And I asked myself, I clearly remember, how would I never speak this? Right?
How would I never do this?
How would I never speak? In what way would I never speak this? How would no one else I know, or anyone else I know, will speak
in this fashion.
In the fashion that I should now speak. So I just sort of blurted out, मैं समय हूं. कोई ऐसे नहीं बोलता है. और आज महाभारत की अमर कथा सुनाने जा रहा हूं. ये महाभारत कोई भरत वंश की सीधी सादी युद्ध कथा नहीं है. ये कथा है भारतीय संस्कृति के उतार चढ़ाव की. ये कथा है अंधेरे से जूझने वाले उजाले की. और ये कथा मेरे सिवा कोई बता भी नहीं सकता, वगैरह वगैरह. तो मैंने कहा मैं
So this just changes the rhythm. And it kind of wow.
And through the
मैंने ऐसे
timbre,
सोचा ही नहीं. Yeah.
through the timbre of the voice, I just added a little grandeur to it. Instead of saying, hi Vishal, how you doing? Hello Vishal, how are you doing? However artificial, but it adds grandeur. But and I was speaking about Samay, not Vishal, so it didn't seem funny. Again I heard the voice that I had heard the first time. इसे पकड़ के रखना. Rahi Sahab again. Because they were sitting behind me. I didn't know that they were agreeing or not agreeing. What was their reaction? इसको पकड़ के रखना है. Then रिकॉर्डिस्ट से कहें, इसको रिकॉर्ड करें. रिकॉर्ड किया? हाँ, रिकॉर्ड किया सर. अब जब भी ये आए रिकॉर्ड करने तो पहले ये सुनाए. मैंने कहा सर मैं तो यूं ही बोल रहा था, इतना स्लो कौन सुनेगा? क्योंकि अभी आपने तो मुझे समझाया कि there'll be no visual, there'll be just some, wheel of time or some silhouette. I said, सर हम टीवी को रेडियो में तब्दील कर रहे हैं. कौन सुनेगा? Right? On TV, you watch TV, you listen to radio.
You're not here to see your chakkar and listen
Nothing.
to voice. Yeah.
नहीं, यही ठीक है. So I looked at Chopra साहब. So I said, यही ठीक है. फिर इन्होंने शर्मा जी, पंडित नरेंद्र शर्मा, नहीं, मैंने कहा पंडित जी थोड़ा स्लो नहीं लगता? नहीं, यही उपयुक्त है.
Wow. So all the three people agreed on this.
And I did not. I admit. Okay, I publicly admit I did not. Next time, then I was called the fourth time. I had forgotten all about it, and I think about a month passed and everything. So it must have gone to Delhi for approval and everything, and final broadcast was decided. I knew nothing about it. So I was called, आज के आज, अभी कभी आ जाओ, tape जानी है. So we are used to this, tape जानी है. Run to the studio. So I went, and there was nobody there, only the recordist. So I said, आज पूरा freedom है. मैंने कहा इतना स्लो कभी बोलते हैं? मैं आऊंगा ये भारत वंश के. So I said, हाँ स्क्रिप्ट का ये फाइनल स्क्रिप्ट है. हाँ पहले ये सुनिए. मैंने कहा छोड़ो ना, मैं नहीं बोला है, मुझे पता है, बाद में सुनेंगे. नहीं, मैंने कहा पहले रिकॉर्ड कर लो. अब वो कितना आर्ग्यू करना ना बेचारा. तो मैंने रिकॉर्ड किया. आज भी, दैट वाज फॉर एपिसोड 1. You go to YouTube, say Mahabharat B.R. Chopra, episode 1. The tone is, the pace is slightly different.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Because you went and changed it.
Main Samay Hoon. और आज महाभारत की. It is far more
a little more faster,
human, a little pacier, and I rather liked it. The next day morning it was broadcast. So I thought, अच्छा लगता है, बुरा नहीं लगता है. It was 3.5 minutes in the first episode.
Wow.
3.5 minutes of speaking is like, about 4 pages. 4.5 pages. When I went for the second episode, so I said, हाँ script. कहा राय साहब को फोन करो. मैंने कहा करते हैं पहले रिकॉर्ड, लेट्स रिकॉर्ड कर लेते हैं. तो कहा नहीं, राय साहब को फोन करो पहले. मैंने फोन किया. मैंने कहा जी नमस्कार बेटे, आपने रफ्तार बढ़ा दी. मैंने कहा हाँ थोड़ी पैसा है, ठीक थी ना. नहीं, जो तय हुआ है वो करो. ऐसा करेंगे या हमें वहां आना पड़ेगा? मैंने कहा नहीं, he almost threatened. मैं कहा नहीं जी करता हूं. तो मैंने कहा इस रफ्तार पे. But you see, what did I say? I went for the second and the third time in the hope of learning something. This is what I learned. That you might be wrong. The experience probably has taught me. Their experience taught me. So it was their decision, really. The tone, the pace.
But in today's world, right, we have heard of so many stories कि director ने कोई 2-3 shot retake करा दिए तो people are walking out of movies. Or in office, if one of your employees did something wrong and you ask them to correct it once or twice, they are coming with resignation letters. So
really?
This is like very different from today's context in that sense, right? Because people just don't take rejection in this sense today, especially when they think that they are really good at it.
But I think it's my nature that I respect success not because of what success brings, but because what must have brought success.
Yeah, the journey.
There's a young techie I know, much younger than me. I actually call him my elder brother because I learned from him.
Well, I know who you're talking about, but I mean, coming back again, I'll come to that your techie friend part later. But coming back to Samay, so I know you have studied Mahabharata, you have studied Rama, and you know pretty much everything about what is written in the scriptures. You were the voice who taught Samay, Mahabharat, and the essence of life to millions of people in the 80s and 90s. But today's India, unfortunately, there is no Samay. The kids of today have attention span of an ant. Forget 3.5 minutes. They don't want to listen to 30 seconds of anything. Attention spans are low. The whole society has gone to a very different pace where the people just don't have an idea of all these things. People just don't know what Rama and Mahabharata, our great tradition, is. So if you were Samay today, What would Samay do differently, and what would your message be, especially to the youth of today? The youth of the 80s and the 90s you took really good care of, and I can proudly say that I was one of those guys who, grew up listening to it, and my understanding of the culture is very different. But today's generation does not have that privilege of having Samay in their lives.
I think that even today, there is a curiosity. There might not be inherent respect. पहले श्रद्धा बाद में knowledge. ये नहीं हो. मुझ में नहीं थी. So I actually belong to today's generation. In my early youth, I used to attend some Gita classes, and I used to keep arguing, and my uncle used to say that, first trust, then. I said, no, I can't do that. First logic, then trust. What you just mentioned means they want logic. Yes, I should be convinced that this is correct, and then I'll trust. How differently would I do? Actually, I am doing it. I'm working on a stage concert called Santvani. Who's interested in Santvani? Give me a break, I said. She said, no, if it's in your voice. I said, voice theek hai. Let somebody write, I'll record. I do that every day. But you are asking me to, quote-unquote, pontificate. I said, how can you do that? I might not be interested, and who would have the time? So he said, that is the challenge. Mm-hmm. I began by changing the title. I added tagline, Santvani, Wisdom for the Worried World. Okay, it started making a difference. And first of all, the language changes, the attitude changes. Language changes as in a part of it is English. Because you respond to that language faster, more. You're closer to that language. Now, either I say that I don't want those people who respond to English more, or I communicate so that they respond to me more. So that. Another is, I have decided to present these sons, these saints, the great saints of India, about 12 of them in one evening, as humans, with their human failings. Now, this is to convey that there is a saint inside you too, inside all of us. So I think, yes, attention span is less. Mine is less too, has become progressively less because there are so many things to deal with. How I love to teach some computers to youngsters. And really so. आपको पता है आप कितनी आसानी से हिंदी लिख सकते हैं हिंदी में. When they asked me to record a voiceover, a script in Hindi, I said, please give it to me in Hindi. If it's in Urdu, give it to me in Urdu. But they don't know how to write. I said, we must learn our languages. Now the Americans are teaching us our languages. In Gmail, you go to Gmail and you can start typing in whatever language you want. And you're typing almost like you're typing in English. Vishal is V-I-S-H AA because it's R, otherwise it'll be Vishal. So why can't we do it? So, in today's world, in today's era, it would be, number one, pacier. It would be, the language will change, the words will change, the attitude will change.
And if you were auditioning today for exactly this, and there was B.R. Chopra and everybody sitting today in front of you, what is your guess? I know a lot of these people are not there. I think, what would be your guess on what...
Over the 93 episodes, I learned that this pace was necessary because the vastness of Mahabharata. It is said that Mahabharata encompasses every story in the world. the one that it does not exist.
Wow, I didn't know that. Every story in the world
Every plot in the world
is part of Mahabharata.
Okay? There was LGBT too.
Yep.
3,500 years ago.
Yep.
Shikhandi.
Yeah, Shikhandi.
There's everything in it. जो इसमें नहीं है, वो कहीं नहीं है.
The ultimate story, the ultimate epic.
So the thing is that it was so complicated that if we kept the pace at which we are speaking now, it'd be lost, be completely lost. So they needed someone whose voice is tolerated at that pace. That I learnt much later.
Because otherwise, if it's a slower voice, it could have been painful for a lot of people to get that attention for that long. That's amazing. That's quite a... And did you know that, having a character like this, which is smaller and, slower in that sense, will actually have an impact on people's minds? Because people, like I said, if you talk about Mahabharata, the first thing they remember is this, not anything else.
No. I had no idea. None at all. In fact, I started watching the Mahabharata serial after I started receiving some extraordinary compliments. My own elder brother, who's like my guru, he'd come to Mumbai. He said, Harish, you've been doing some good work. You make us proud. But your Mahabharata is up there. You have done something extraordinary. And I was wondering, why is he showering praises like this? So I just, touched his feet. Thank you. And then I said that I must listen to it. So I started, it used to come at 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't wake up that early on a Sunday. No, true. I used to work very, very hard. And don't forget, Sunday, I was used to, much earlier, Sunday evenings were my newscasts.
Yeah.
So Sundays, I used to really sleep till like 10:30. Tab tak to khatam ho gaya sab.
Amazing. So, I think, you briefly mentioned about your brother. And I know your entire family is superb when it comes to the arts. Your brother is also a newscaster. One of your sisters is into, I think, films and documentaries.
Serials, yes.
And TV serials. So how did this family, your parents never had a background in the arts, etc. So what happened to this entire generation?
You see, we are originally from the Marwar part of Rajasthan, then moved to Kutch, then moved to Bengal. और फिर मुझे अवतरित होना था इसलिए मुंबई
नगरी.
No, I was born in Mumbai. So, I think all the three brothers, that's my father and my elder uncle and the younger uncle, wo majle the. They had this ability, but art is not a profession. It's not accepted as a profession. When I was young, as a boy, films were banned. And later when my father realized that he's very fond of the radio was banned.
Oh.
Completely banned, absolutely. Chori karke radio kharida tha. Chori karke aane mein. I'm sure you don't know that earlier those days when I was a boy, you couldn't buy a radio. Okay, you have, like today, you need a license.
You need a license for it.
Yeah, you have to apply, then there's a license, and you pay license fee every 6 months. And if you're caught without license, all this we learned from the British. The BBC licensing stopped about 15, 17 years ago.
Wow.
Until then, when did the BBC TV become commercial? That was
after the...
That's when they stopped taking license fee. So there used to be license fee. So a friend of mine, he was much elder to me, he took responsibility because how can I have a radio in my name? License can't be in my name. So it was in his name, and my mother paid. It was 410 rupees.
A year?
No, 410 rupees for the radio.
Okay, the license fee was how much?
License fee, I don't remember. Must be 10, 15 rupees.
Okay.
That I don't remember, because even that he used to pay, I couldn't pay. But 415 rupees in the late 50s, तब एक परिवार 250 रुपए में एक महीना चलता था, right?
Wow, that's
Taxi meter down was 30 paise.
so. From that context, it's super expensive.
400 rupees is very, very expensive.
Very expensive.
चुरा के ले जाते थे. चुरा के, people used to steal it.
So was it the Mumbai city, or what influenced? What got all these people, all your entire family into arts?
I think that it was just a new generation. As I was saying, that all the three brothers, two of them were really good looking too. My father had a penchant for punchlines. As if he was some saint, ke Kabir Das ne ye kaha.
So he could just come up with punchlines.
He didn't know there were punchlines, but these were quotable quotes. Unfortunately, he never followed them. I realized that even as a child.
So what were some of the quotes which you remember?
Something that changed my way of speaking. Do you know, I used to stammer a little.
Oh, what are you saying?
Yes. And it was out of fear.
Achha.
You see,
it was psychological.
I was the youngest of the three brothers. And as somebody has said that the youngest brother is no use to man, God or devil. So it is extra. ऐसा मुझे लग रहा था. We were 8 kids. 5 survived. So, I had a younger sister then, but nobody much bothered. And if you were not good at studies, or if you did anything wrong, you could be hit. Chaata pad jata tha. In those days, it used to happen. So I think I used to be very scared. So my elder brother has the same voice. We 3 brothers have the same voice, period.
Same voice.
Same timbre. And my mother always used to say, "Us kamre mein baat karte, pata bhi nahi chalta." After I'd sort of made it in the voice industry, so then she started saying, "Pehle to it didn't matter whether you had the same voice or not." But his problem was that he used to speak very fast. He still does. He speaks very fast.
He's a commentator, right?
No, he's not. He's not a commentator. He's the eldest brother. He's in New York and he works in administration. No, but he's also a writer. You talk to him for 15 minutes, not 15 seconds, not 15 beats, and you'll never realize that he has a very presentable voice. So my father used to tell him, "Surendra, why do you speak so fast? Why?" So he'd say, "I don't speak fast at all. Nobody told me I speak fast. My friends didn't tell me, a teacher never know. But even that you are speaking fast." No, I haven't said, but and I would be listening. So my father gave this one golden rule. Think a sec before you speak. 1 sec. How much is 1 second? How much is 1 second, beta? Tell me. This is 1 second. So think before that. But think what? Think whether you should speak that or not. And if you should, then what you're going to say is right or not. The way you're saying is right or not. No, but I always do that. You didn't. So that sort of percolated my psyche. Yeah. Think a second, 1 second, it changes everything.
So just to take the second thought ahead, there is now this entire theory of what they call latency. If you can get latency to all your action, you can do things 100 times better. So the problem is people just react. People blow up a switch, get angry, get happy.
True.
So the concept is and this has to be natural. I mean, of course, you have to practice it a little, But if you can add latency to all your actions, you can be 100 times more productive.
This must be true, absolutely true.
So this entire thing is exactly that, adding latency.
Because I believe that pause for a day before you take big decision, and think a sec before you speak. Very true. Unfortunately, I don't always do it.
Yeah, it's difficult to add latency to everything in this world of spontaneity where everybody wants you to like something, retweet something. Nobody wants you to wait.
It all started with instant coffee.
That's correct, yeah.
The Vishal Gondal Show will be right back after this break.
Shunyavan, 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 Shunyavan.
$1 billion acquisition. Another copycat startup got formed.
No, the tech world in India is surely moving double the speed of this voiceover.
Tune in to Shunya One every Tuesday to catch us talking to the smartest people we know on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from.
So how many languages have you done voiceovers now in?
The 22,000 you mentioned has now crossed the 25,000 mark.
Oh, 25,000. Wow.
Yes.
I have not updated my numbers yet.
And the way it is computed is not very generous. 10 minutes of recording is counted as one.
So there could be shorter ones which...
There are so many shorter ones. No, if it's a commercial, that's one recording, because one 30-second commercial takes about 3 hours to record.
Okay.
And so that's a recording in itself. How many languages? English, Hindi, Urdu, Gujarati, Bengali. I mean, I've done a couple in Punjabi. And
Punjabi is Hindi with galis anyways.
No. I think it's a lovely language. No, I've actually done some.
Urdu sounds really exciting. Urdu मतलब ये कहाँ से सीखा आपने?
मेरा ऐसा ख्याल है आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में, पर्सपेक्टिव में, कि you say that I speak Hindi, but you can't read Hindi, then you don't know the language. Okay. I was simply attracted to Hindi. Now, when you say Hindi, it's actually Hindustani. It's a very pleasant mixture of Hindi and Urdu, which is what Premchand ji has been writing, as against, let's say, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, who wrote beautiful Hindi. But he, by the way, also knew very good Urdu, and he read and wrote Urdu, by the way. He also knew Farsi, Persian. So where did Urdu come into my life? I was in a Parsi school for 6 years.
Parsi school?
Parsi maa hota hai. 6 varas hota. So, I think in the 7th or 8th standard or something, you have to choose one classical language. So it was either Persian, they offered Persian, and Sanskrit. Now, Persian is the true mother language of Urdu.
Achha.
Urdu was born in India.
Mm-hmm.
It was born in the Mughal army of Delhi mainly. Delhi, Lucknow cantonments. From Lahore all the way to Bengal. That's where Urdu was born.
Even my grandfather used to read and write Urdu. And we used to get one of these newspapers, Inqalab. I don't know if that newspaper is still alive, but yeah.
It is. It's changed hands, but it is. Yes. So Urdu is made of Persian words, mainly. Persian and Sanskrit words. Hindi grammar.
Words
yeah. So,
in Urdu.
Yeah. Then they've changed. They've changed beyond recognition. Hindi grammar. And of course the classical language, the religious language is Arabic. But Arabic is far less adequate language. It doesn't have so many consonants. It does not have per. The whole of Arabia lives on petrol. There is no t. So they call it batrol.
Ah.
And for some reasons, they did not have Coca-Cola. So they used to drink Bebasi. Pepsi.
Oh. Bebasi is Pepsi. Okay, there's no per.
Actually,
There's no word per itself in Arabic. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So, but it's completely classical language of the Quran Sharif or Anwarul Hadith. So, I was quite attracted to it for some reason, basically attracted to Hindi, but it always seemed that the next step after Hindi is Urdu. Mm-hmm. As a child, I used to think that. So I asked my father that I want to take Persian. So he looked at me. He said, "You're out of your mind." I even remember where this conversation took place when he was shaving, and I thought I'd catch him unawares and he'll say, "Ha karna hai, kar le." So I'll take it. He said, "Silly." I said, "Why silly? If there are so many of my friends." No. You see, it's very different. We write from left to right. This language is written from right to left. Ulta hai sab. So what? So I learned that. No. He said, we pray in the east. They pray towards the west, which is not true. If you are in America, you pray towards the east.
Yeah, basically where Makkah is.
Where the
right?
Makkah is.
Yeah.
Now that he didn't know. So he said, nahi, sab ulta hai. You know, non-veg. हम वैष्णव हैं. ये क्या पागल हो तुम? इसमें खाना कहाँ से आ गया? Anyway, he said, no, you have to take Sanskrit. Every morning we do prayers. So you speak those shloks very well. Shantakaram bhujavishayanam padmanabham suresham.
Sanskrit. So he wanted you to learn Sanskrit.
You take Sanskrit and then you'll understand. And then you explain to me. I said, no go. I don't have another father to consult. Okay. I took Sanskrit. I'm thankful to him today. Mm-hmm. But that, वो कहते हैं ना वासना,
कीड़ा.
ये कीड़ा आज का शब्द होगा, मैं वासना कहूँगा. That remained.
Okay.
वो जो पूरी नहीं हुई थी, unfulfilled wish. Then I changed my school to a very good public school. In fact, the only public school in Mumbai. HM Public School. Not that it offered Urdu or any other. But one of my neighbors was Shahab Hussain. Siraj Hussain and Shahab Hussain. बहुत अच्छे लड़के थे, हम लोग साथ में क्रिकेट खेलते थे. Now we have a huge estate. It's a microcosm of India. Mm-hmm. Everybody, every sort of religion, every language, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, everybody. It's great fun. So, lots of boys. So we used to have teams and play test cricket over 2 days.
2 days of test cricket in a gully?
Test cricket. Well, gully? We're a
no, what I'm going to say is that in a
ground.
In a housing complex in a way.
Yeah. So, this guy, I came to know that Shahab knows Urdu, can read some Urdu. Because when I went to his place, there's some little books. I said, ये क्या लिखा है? क्या लिखा है? Wafa. अरे, you read? हाँ, देख. He read something. थोड़ा slow है, लेकिन... I said, you studied up to? I said, I studied up to only the 2nd standard Urdu. I said, you teach me Urdu. Yay, जाने दे. No way. Now, at the same time, my Nanaji's brother, who always lived in Karachi, came back because he was getting on in age and there was nobody, was alone there. So when he came, he brought gifts for all the kids, the sisters and brothers and the big family. So I was there. He'd forgotten. He'd forgotten me. I told you. youngest boy. भूल ही गया कि he exists. So I said, shamelessly, what did you bring for me? So I said, मैं तुम्हारे लिए लाए हम. He was thinking, ये क्या है? And there were some books lying there, little books. ये जो है ना, ये किताबें मियाँ आपके लिए लाए हैं. What is it?
The Urdu kitab.
It was, I couldn't read. I said, what is it? ये उर्दू का कायदा है ये. So, कायदा is actually grammar. So, उर्दू का कायदा. And the other one, वो उर्दू की पहली किताब. So, I grabbed, touched his feet. Thank you, that's what I wanted.
Wow.
How did you know? Actually, I mean, this is like providence. I rushed to Shahab. I said, Shahab, ये क्या लिखा है? So he said, उर्दू का कायदा. दूसरा, उर्दू की पहली किताब. मैंने कहा, सीखा. तू ये लिखे, no way. He just didn't want to do all that. Then we started a test match. So we were in the same team. As it is, I was not a good batsman. I was always a good bowler. So, and every boy wants batting.
Yeah.
Not fielding. Some bowling, but no fielding. So I said, Chab, तू मेरी बैटिंग ले ले.
हाँ, और मेरे को उर्दू
हाँ, उतने टाइम में तू मुझे उर्दू, जब तक when you are not on the pitch, you teach me Urdu. इसे देख, हाँ, पलटना नहीं. देख, पलटना नहीं, like regular boys. I said, no. Then मेरी बारी आई बैटिंग की. मैंने कहा, जा, तू जा. So he went. I said, मजा आ गया. He finished. He came, हाँ, बोल, क्या है? देखा, second inning में भी. मैंने कहा, हाँ. Then he started teaching me. And what he was teaching me was rudimentary. Absolutely. Sounds. And so I'd quickly jot down when he's doing something else. I'd practice. This went on for 2 days and about 2 or 3 matches. I don't think I learned for more than 3, 4, 5 days sessions with him. And a little later, I started telling him, ये क्या लिखा है बोल? सही है, ये सही है, ये है कि नहीं? Remember, there was no YouTube, there was no computers, there was nothing, nobody to teach me. But he had taught me, he said, ये एक करने के लिए, suppose you want to say rekhta. By the way, rekhta means Urdu. So, you don't say R and A. In Hindi, you would have a matra. In English, Urdu is like English. You have to add E for R-E, Re. But in Urdu, you say R-Y. It's also used for Y as well as E as well as A, depending on where it is placed, etc., etc. So in like a week's time, I graduated from the Shahab Institute of Urdu. From the Shahab Institute of Rudimentary Urdu. But I kept practicing just because I liked it. I liked the struggle.
So basically, it's quite evident that you are passionate about languages. You are passionate about all these things, and that is what led you to get to this career.
No, apart from that, what the other factor that led me was that I did not study in this stream, which was a little unfortunate.
No. I mean, looking at how good you are at your business ventures, I'm saying that you are possibly one of the MBAs who could really use your MBA knowledge really well. So you did from Jamnalal Bajaj?
That's right. Yeah.
That was like one of the top MBA schools.
It was. Yes.
So how did the MBA in you deal with the artist in you?
Why don't you first begin with the engineer in me?
Oh yeah, of course, we forgot the engineer in you too, right? So yeah, you are an engineer and an MBA. I mean, you are like supposed to be nowhere near art.
You see, the thing is that in those days, in matric, when you're doing matriculation, it's pre-compartmentalized.
Yeah. Engineer.
You're a boy.
Doctor,
No, you're a boy. You get distinction of first class, you become engineer, or if you don't mind, don't mind cutting cockroaches and frogs, then you become a doctor. Depending, that's the deciding factor. If you are second class, then you go to commerce, and if you're no good, then just for the marriage market, arts. एक डिग्री तो होनी चाहिए ना. हमारा बेटा ग्रेजुएट है. दुकान पे बैठता है. So it was pre-decided. Now, not only that, even I used to think so. And of course, our family would. I got distinction in matric. किसी ने उफक तक, क्षितिज तक, horizon तक कभी first class नहीं देखा था. यहाँ distinction आ गया. मैं तो पगला गया. So I went straight to Elphinstone College.
Yeah.
Admission, science to engineering. I first got admission in civil electrical CME, civil mechanical electrical in Pune. I was there for about 6-7 days, out of which 3 days was spent in the Film Institute. Maybe I should have stayed there.
But I want to ask you one question, and this is something which I've been now, so I know you now almost 1997, 1998, right? Maybe since then. And I remember that there is a geek in you. You are possibly the only person I knew at that point of time who was very much ahead in terms of technology. You were the first person who started using all kinds of smartphones. You used to do recordings on your phone. You got in the teleprompters. I mean, that entire industry of rental of teleprompters. You started a website which was in the streaming business when nobody had heard the word streaming, which was One Asia. And now you have not done one, but multiple ventures, one on the documentary space, one on aggregating of all voiceover artists where anybody can do this. I mean, this is not by accident, right? I mean, I don't know of many artists who've been able to do that. So where does the geek come into you? I have seen all the stuff there, but where is the geek?
I think it is the analytical, I won't even say ability. I want to analyze everything. I want to get to the bottom of a thing. I want to understand. If I don't understand, then I feel uneasy and I leave it. That is why I did not become an electrical engineer. Electricity fascinates me. My friend, electricity runs this world. I have still not understood how come no religion in the world has a deity called electricity and gravity. I couldn't understand electricity. We used to get those star and delta connections. I said, star, delta, but what is it? What is the voltage difference? When there is a voltage, high to low, electricity flows. I couldn't understand. So it is probably that analytical thing. And then you study engineering. Engineering is really, simply put, analysis and problem solving. And then a very systematic, allow me to use a word, very systematic jugaad. That's engineering. So that always interested me. Not that engineering did not interest me. It did. But there was passion. Dil yahan tha, dimag wahan tha.
And you were able to somehow combine
the two. Yes, true.
Combine the two.
For example, I find the stock exchange very exciting. Not merely for, earning more money or some such, but what goes into its final actions, the volatility. You have to know economics, macroeconomics, then the company, that industry, etc., and the attitude of big punters.
So let us connect, for example, the whole business of teleprompters. This idea was, you got into it so early, nobody even thought about it. So what prompted you to say this is a big business in itself?
First of all, not big business. Now it's become fairly big. But it was very necessary. I was amazed that nobody thought of it. You see, I told you I started my professional career as a television newscaster. How I got into it is another matter, but there were
papers,
no teleprompter. Yeah. There was a paper, remember what you can, and then look down again. Remember what you can, look at the camera and speak to the camera, and look down again. I thought that was not a great idea, and I used to be an addict of the Time magazine. So from the Time magazine, I knew that there were three big networks in the US: ABC, CBS, NBC. Then there is PBS, and the only newscaster, and who is the top newscaster? Walter Cronkite. The only newscaster who doesn't use a teleprompter is Walter Cronkite.
Oh.
I don't know why. I got into a correspondence with him. He actually answered me, and my NRI friends say, "My God, frame this and keep it." Walter Cronkite has answered, has replied to, they were big stars. So, when I went there, the first thing I looked for was teleprompters. No way you could import. For importing, you first export something, then you get export entitlement, part of it import, then it has to be under some group or other. Very difficult at that time. But it stayed with me that I want to do it. My newscasting days were over. Anchoring continued, TV anchoring, but no teleprompter. And I saw that from 92, I think Z came in 93 or 94. Z, there was Asia TV Network, ATN. And then, of course, other things came. Other channels came.
NDTV बाद में. Yeah, NDTV came a little later.
NDTV started as a program.
Yeah.
NDTV started as
News This Week.
News This Week, that's right. On the Doordarshan.
Yeah.
But even there was no teleprompter. So I kept at it. I kept going abroad with so many artists to anchor the music concerts, whether it was film or classical. So whichever country I would go to, I'd try and find out. Finally, in 92, I brought my first teleprompter. And it was so, by which time TV shows had begun. And Javed came to know, Javed Jafri. So he called me, he said, "Yaar, aapke paas ye hai? I'd like to use." I said, "Please use, nobody's using it." When I tell them, they said, "No, we don't want to spend extra money." They don't realize that your work can be done much faster and far better. He said, "I used to do one episode in 1.5 shifts. Now I do 3 in 1 shift."
Wow, because of the teleprompter.
Because of the teleprompter. Simple. Because of the teleprompter, I lost one show. You know, actress Sadhana and her husband R.K. Nayyar, they were doing a show called Geet. Kahani Hamari Geet Aapke, something like that. Kahani Aapki Geet Hamare. It's a nice little, sweet little show based on film songs, but an anchor based. So anchor has to reel out a story. No teleprompter. I had a teleprompter lying at home.
And they
but
said
he wouldn't
no.
allow me. So, no, story hola. Oh, jaise shooting hoti hai. Now he's a veteran of about 12, 15 films, some of which were big hits. It's really old time, old school. When the name Bollywood was not coined. Then Rakhi came, the festival of Rakhi. And the writer decided to write all the 8 links, anchor links, in poetry form. And I couldn't learn it for the life of mine because it was mediocre poetry. It was not Khalib, it was not Sahir.
Some writer has written, okay.
No, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And long things. So I said, "Sir, mujhe yaad hi nahi ho raha. 3 takes, 5 takes, 7 takes." He used to enjoy it. "Oh, ji, take 8. Arey bhai, chai lao inke liye. Okay, thoda break kar lo, thoda pasina ye kar lo, thoda makeup." मैंने कहा, "ये क्या है?" Finally, I asked my assistant, I said, "तुम जाके लेके आओ. लेके आओ." ये नहीं मानेंगे. So break, lunch break tak, we hadn't done one link. One link is one part of story between 2 songs. During lunch, I asked the cameraman, because the whole thing, contraption goes on camera. So he was a Bengali guy. He said, "No, shub ki kar cholbe na." I said, "Please, yaar, ye hoga hi nahi, aaj show hi nahi hoga." कहा, नहीं कैसा भी हो. फाइनली मैंने कहा, देखिए तो सही, क्योंकि आपकी तो कितना जानते हैं, क्या फिल्में नहीं की, क्या आप तो सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. Now there is a little darkness inside. So I said, "See, now what do I do with lighting? I don't have more lights." I told him, "Sir, एक stop aperture खोल दीजिए. Now, he didn't know that I knew photography. And by the way,
you are a great photographer, yeah.
By the way, personally speaking, I'm a better writer than a speaker and a far better still photographer than a writer.
Ooh.
But that's my belief. Jungle mein mor nacha, kisi ne dekha. So I said, sir, ek stop aperture खोल दीजिए. तो मेरे को सिखाओगे? मैंने कहा नहीं ये सिखा नहीं. Of course not. वो तो आप तो जानते ही ये बोला मैं. कैसी बात है ना, आप तो जानते ही हैं. Okay, बोला ठीक है. Now the director didn't know that all this was happening.
And he must...
After lunch I started and मुझे कुछ क्या करना है अभी तो
teleprompter आ गया
of the lens. तो फट one take. देखा ना हो गया lunch क्लियर हो गया. अब मुझे क्या सूझी? नहीं, thank you. Now the cameraman said, अच्छा इसको तो तंग करता हूँ. You see what happens is that these people come on daily basis. Do you remember? Do you realize?
They make per shift. They make money per shift. Yeah.
तो कहा ये तो मारे जाएंगे. कहा अभी ट्रैक पे है कैमरा. तो my assistant said है ना केबल है हमारे पास. तो केबल लगा के वो उसके साथ होने. तो उसके लगे तो second link take one okay. तो कहा देखा अरे मैंने कहा था हरीश करोगे तुम एकदम. मैंने कहा सर एक सेफ्टी टेक और सेफ्टी टेक एकदम मूड में. Because now you're not bothered about memorizing words. So I said, होता है मैं कह रहा हूँ तब क्या बोल रहे हो मशीन लाओगे. मैंने कहा सर इधर है ये देखिए क्या है. I shouldn't have done that. He was hurt. Can you imagine? Instead of saying my good boy at a boy, instead of that he says
you're fired from the show.
He called out to his wife, Rumzi. I don't know why. He used to call him Rumzi. Drink law. He used to start in the morning. He got drunk. And somehow he finished that. Then we did another episode after about a week. And then he decided he didn't want me.
Wow, because of you using a teleprompter.
He didn't want me. Then much later, of course, the show also closed down. So this was truly necessity was the mother of, well, not invention, but...
getting the... So you identified a pain point for yourself. You solved that and then you thought this could be a great business and now...
And then really, as you said, engineering came in. I said that I had to assemble it here. I had to get
the lens
from somewhere and the table from somewhere. And then I said that why should you have table? Now you have computers. So I studied a little more. By that time, internet had come. You remember?
We had come and we used to do all that work.
That is scrolling.
Exactly. We have done all of that.
You showed me the scrolling program. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I have been your computer trainer for the longest time.
That's right.
Longest time. I also remember that you kind of completely mastered the internet. You have done SEO, SCM, web designing, database. There's nothing in the world, especially on the online space, which you haven't done.
Yeah, but I can't actually do coding. I wish I could.
You had the people, but you had the understanding of everything.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I mean, I can quickly distinguish between a simple showcase website or something that leads to actual business. Where does a business come from? Is your website marketed in other media, or does it depend entirely on Google or SEO?
So you're getting organic traffic, you're getting inorganic traffic and all of that. So in this entire, so there was a parallel. So while you were doing all of this, the internet world, the technology world, and now the social media world is really growing. How have you been able to adopt yourself for this entire generation when it comes to technology?
It is, I always thought that...
the only reason I ask you this is because a lot of artists I have seen are not that tech savvy, But you are not tech savvy. I mean, you are far ahead of the curve.
I think that this is a matter of attitude, completely a matter of attitude. Have you heard of Lukku Sanyal, the wonderful old newscaster, or voice and everything? What English language. We were great friends. We were colleagues at the TV. When I was country manager of One Asia, we needed a lot of written content. And she was going through a bad patch. So I said, Lukku, that doesn't matter, bad patch or good patch. I want you to write. And this will mean 3 times more than your job per month. All you have to do is you have to send an email. So Harish, don't talk to me about computers. No, computers is not me. I hate computers. I've begun hating the world that is using computers. So I said, you're out of your mind. You can type, can't you? So I'll tell you what to type on. No, I can just handwritten. And now this is an American company based in Hong Kong. There are no typists. There's only the country manager had an assistant. Nothing else. Nobody could do it. She lost it. I said, look, you're making a big mistake. This is up your alley. You enjoy. She said, I'll do 3 of them every day.
But I will only handwrite.
Handwrite. I said, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Now, what am I trying to say? You see, we artists are very fond of saying, I'm not, computer is not my thing.
I have people to do everything. For tweet, they have somebody who does tweets and who does Facebook and all of that,
No, those might be stars, I can understand. That might be because of... But they keep saying that I can't do this. I can't drive. You see, I look at these tech-born things or these technologies simply as driving a car. I'm a very good driver, which I am really. I mean,
I've heard about your camper van driving across the UK.
Apart from that, I'm really a good driver. I call myself a London driver. Such a good driver. How much of automobile engineering do I know?
Zero.
Nothing. I mean, except for basics. That how does a piston and these... But nothing. So, how much... Come on. You're the ultimate techie, I know. How much do you know about actual internet? How does it happen? The nuts and bolts. We know very little. All we have to do is learn to run it. I always tell them in Hindi कि ये जो कंप्यूटर है ना अपना गुलाम है जो रात की छुट्टी नहीं लेता मैटरनिटी लीव भी नहीं लेता लेकिन हमको उस गुलाम से काम करवाना आना चाहिए. That's all we have to do.
And I know that you were able to even get your driver and everybody else to do this. So your teleprompter operator was one of your assistants or your driver, no?
Not driver. No.
Pion tha. Office boy, your office boy.
कहाँ था? मैं तो महाराष्ट्र के खेड़ में 7वीं कक्षा फेल महाराष्ट्र के गांव से. तो मैंने कहा वैसा ही रहना है क्या? नहीं आगे बढ़ने का बोले तो. So I used to call him Michael Corleone, by the way. That was Michael Corleone's voice. Godfather's son.
Yeah.
So he got interested. मैंने कहा नहीं क्या आता है? ऐसा नहीं बोलना. ऐसा कभी नहीं बोलना नहीं आता है. बोला अभी नहीं सीखा हूं.
अभी नहीं सीखा. That is the attitude.
I said your attitude should be different. Today, as we speak, the guy makes about $1 a month merely as a teleprompter operator.
Wow.
He's a one in demand. And मैं उसको कभी कहता हूँ कि 3 दिन मेरा ये काम है. अभी तो मैं फिलीपींस जा रहा हूँ. अरे हांगकांग जा रहा हूँ, यूएसए जा रहा हूँ, स्वीडन जा रहा हूँ. And the main man, Abhishek Desai, he is a permanent fixture of A.R. Rahman team. A.R. Rahman can't remember songs. So on stage, he has a teleprompter. So all this guy has to do is,
at the right pace, keep moving it.
That's all. And he goes around the world. He was always a favorite of Amitabh Bachchan, Madhuri Dixit. They would call and say, "Zara Abhishek Lapatwa, because he's very good. Anything goes wrong, he'll do it. He didn't know anything. What did he do before he joined me as a peon? He used to sell newspapers.
Wow.
From 6 o'clock in the morning to about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
But that's the amazing thing, right? You could get a peon to now be the world's best teleprompter operator. So what was that attitude? I mean, and I know, I always kept telling you, ye nahi ho sakta. I know you used to have all these business plans and I used to only dig holes in the plan.
अभी भी और एक है, ये इंटरव्यू खत्म होने दो.
But that's what I said. No, whenever I dig those holes, you actually came back with a solution, which was a good thing.
I think if a little bit of knowledge can change a person's life, it also makes me happy. It makes me unhappy that they left me almost in the lurch. But that's all right. That happens all the time. That's how one gets ahead. So why not? The latest, by the way, I might take 2-3 minutes to say, the guy from Azamgarh is my driver. हाँ, हम आजमगढ़ के हों. बहुत अच्छी हिंदी उसकी, लिखे तो हो. And he would send me SMSs in Hindi and impeccable Hindi.
Oh, हिंदी में पूरा SMS आता है.
अरे हिंदी में पूरा SMS या नहीं, यहाँ देखिए आज का है ये. This is right 1-2.
नमस्ते सर, कुछ जरूरी काम की वजह से मुझे आज लगभग आधे घंटे की देरी हो सकती है.
एक भी गलती नहीं है. नमस्ते सर, आज पेरेंट्स मीटिंग की वजह से मुझे आने में लगभग 1 घंटे की देरी हो सकती है. मतलब वो देरी के लिए वो अच्छी हिंदी इस्तेमाल कर रहा है. तो मैंने कहा जो आदमी इतना मेटिकुलस है, I think he was showing off his Hindi a little, which is good, क्योंकि सर का नाम बड़ा सुना है. हिंदी महाभारत वगैरह तो अच्छी हिंदी. So I was uploading a page on Pashto. Pashto is an Afghan language. Yeah. Do you know, in great demand because there are Pashto refugees in the whole of Europe, in the US, England, etc. So recordings are to be done. So we should have a Pashto language page. Yeah. Voices we had, content we had. Now Pashto language page. So something about Pashto. This
is on Voice Sutra, which is your voice aggregation.
.com. So I asked him, I said, ऐसा कीजिए, ये अंग्रेजी में. I went to Google, Pashto language, print out, इसको आप हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट कीजिए. कहा ये नहीं कीजिए ना, हिंदी आती है ना, जो समझ नहीं आए पता कर लेंगे. नहीं, उसमें अंग्रेजी में कुछ, अच्छा आपके पास मोबाइल है ना, स्मार्टफोन है ना, तो इंग्लिश हिंदी डिक्शनरी डाउनलोड कीजिए. I gave him that, हिंदी खोज, very good dictionary. हाँ. The evening he gives me 2 paras of translation.
From Pashto to Hindi.
From English to Hindi.
From English to Hindi.
English to Hindi. This is about Pashto. That Pashto is spoken in Afghanistan, also in the Pakhtunkhwa of portion of FATA, federally administered tribal areas of Pakistan, etc. So he did everything. The thing is that on your website, if you pick up something from Wikipedia and put it, then the web crawlers will punish you. You know that.
Yeah.
So you have to change the language. How do I change the language? I had it translated in Hindi. I said, now put it in translate.google.com.
And put it in English.
Put it in English and I'll correct the grammar. But the English changed.
Yeah.
From the original. So he was able to कहा, ये तो सही था सर, हम कर पाए हैं. मैंने कहा क्या कर पाए और करेंगे. Then I introduced him to computer. So I said, ये हमने कभी किया नहीं है. अच्छा, तो फिर तो हम कैसे करेंगे. मैंने कहा आपकी शादी कब हुई. ऐसे हाँ, उससे पहले शादी हुई थी. फिर कैसी बात कर रहे हैं. तो सर अच्छा. Finally, I'll just give you one little example how I had to teach him. The person who doesn't know what is computer, what is the function of a computer, what is keyboard, nothing. I told him, here you can type. We have Hindi, English program, etc. You can type. So he was having fun. ये mistake हो गई, अब ये हो नहीं रहा है. कुछ और हो गया, हमने कुछ और दबा दिया. तो मैंने कहा ऐसा कीजिए, ये कंट्रोल है ना, कंट्रोल Z. हाँ, तो फिर हो गया. तो ये कंट्रोल Z क्या है? मैंने कहा ये है अच्छा जी माफ कर दो. He took it very seriously. Okay. अच्छा जी माफ कर दो. अच्छा, मैंने कहा नहीं, बोलना नहीं पड़ता है ऐसा, इसका मतलब है. He comes to me after a couple of days. So, सर ये था किया, हमने माफ कर दो भी किया, लेकिन हुआ नहीं. मैंने कहा माफ कर दो किया ना, तब आप दूसरे प्रोग्राम पे थे. तो उनको अगर उनकी जबान में, जैसे आपने पूछा कि आज अगर समय या हमारे कल्चर या धर्म के बारे में कहना है, तो उनकी भाषा में उनके तरीके से कहना होगा. So that's the way.
Yeah. Also, in your 30 years of career, you've been close to people like Lata Mangeshkar. You've been part of so many great leaders, ministers, artists, CEOs, companies. You've interviewed all of them. Who are the 3 people you were most influenced with, and why? If you only had to talk about 3 people in the last 30 years. You have interacted with 3,000 maybe.
One was Aditya Vikram Birla. I interviewed him twice on CNN when CNN was in its 5th, 6th.
This is Kumar Mangalam Birla's dad.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's no more. And I told him, I said, my claim to fame is that, like you, I'm a chemical engineer and an MBA. And the man humbly says, नहीं, आपके पास कुछ है जो मेरे पास नहीं है, हालांकि मैं बिरला हूं. He was quite aware of what he was. Mm-hmm. He said, you can't walk on a road without being recognized. और वो भी एक बड़ी बात होती है. But apart from that, how he used to combine the various genres or knowledge that he had of his traditional business, his application of business techniques, and of course his chemical engineering. I used to see him, because totally I met him about 6-7 times, because later we did some shows for him. Do you know he was a fine painter?
Oh, Aditya Birla.
Aditya Birla was a fine painter, and he used to repaint classics. I have seen his Mona Lisa.
Wow.
And in my book, I have described him as Bhor Chitrakar. He would never get the time to do it. So you ask Rajashri ji today, his wife, she will tell that is to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, work till about 6:30.
And then paint.
And then, no.
You used to paint in the morning
Paint
first.
in the morning.
Wow.
And then the rest of the day. Because he's dealing with billions. His one decision can make...
Amazing. I never knew that. And who are the other 2 people?
Lata Mangeshkar.
Of course. The great Lata ji. And of course, you've been like with her, like her shadow literally, right? Everywhere.
Yes. 21 countries. 140 events.
Wow.
Yeah. It is, you really had to... I think to continue being with Lataji was something like being successful in the United States.
Oh.
You have to prove yourself every day. There's nobody to save you, or nobody to... if you want to be successful, you have to show your best every day. I think the best thing about her is that she entirely understands the secret of success, and that is focus. She might be good at other things. And how to use her inner resources. Her total educational span is all of one day.
That's it.
One day in school, in the grade 1. There were no kindergartens then. one day. The next day she went with little Asha ji, in tow. And before the teacher came, she was teaching songs.
Lata Mangeshkar was teaching songs.
She was, 7, 8 years? 6 years, I don't know. The first day she went, they said, "Achha, तुमको कुछ आता है? लिखो. क्या लिखोगी? लिखो." So she wrote Shri Ganeshaya Namah. She said, "Wow, very good. Oh, good. ध्यान से पढ़ो." Well, all that in Marathi, of course. Next day she went, the teacher was a little late. So she started teaching in the sense, they were singing, making kids sing. The teacher lost his temper. He said, "You can't do this in my, it's discipline." And she gets up and says that, "How can you talk like this to Master Dinanath Mangeshkar's daughter? I will not sit here."
Wow.
That was the
At
end
the
of
age
it.
of 7 or 8.
That was the end of her formal education. But she never stopped there. I don't know if she's stopped even now. She reads and writes Urdu, Bengali. So she was asked, "What is the secret of your success?" And couldn't answer, etc. She did answer, but she thought she hadn't. So she told me कि लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं, मुझे मेरी समझ में नहीं आती बात कि मैं क्या कहूँ, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है, इतनी बड़ी सक्सेस. मैंने कहा क्यों, तो कौन सी बड़ी बात क्यों? देखिए, एक बार तय किया कि मुझे ये चाहिए तो पीछे पड़ जाइए, कैसे नहीं मिले. But when you be at it, focus. But when you analyze, which I have done, that's why I could write a 389-page book, then you first realize your abilities, then you find out what universe you are in, the universe of your profession, see how well or not well others are doing, how better she can do, how you give your best to yourself. Her principle is that her only competition is her previous best.
Wow.
That.
So you are competing with yourself.
You're competing with your last best, previous best.
With your last best. Wow, that's an amazing philosophy. And who's the third person in your mind?
Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia. This man was actually a Pahalwan.
Pahalwan?
He's a Pahalwan. He's a professional Pahalwan. His father was a Pahalwan. And of course, he was not supposed to do anything else. So कुछ पहलवानी करते भी थे, I think वाराणसी में. मगर बांसुरी बहुत अच्छी लगती थी. And he pursued that while he did his Pahalwani, but when he realized that no, now what do? Do I keep respecting my father and respecting his wishes and become a Pahalwan? I'll be a good Pahalwan. I think I would have been a fairly good chemical industry executive. But do I go for Bansuri? He didn't know how big would he become, or would he just be a part of some stage orchestra? Possibly. I didn't know that voice industry was going to grow so big, or will it grow or not. Magar, again, in the words of Lata Mangeshkar, आर्टिस्ट तो वही हो सकता है जो थोड़ा पागल हो.
पागल होना तो बड़ा जरूरी है.
So him and how he keeps at it.
Amazing. So with all your learnings,
in spite of his Alzheimer.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Alzheimer is gone.
Yeah, amazing. So with all the exposure you had in your own family, how did you grow up? How did you help your own kids, your two daughters? Because one of them, of course, is in the movie and the documentary and the television space. How did you shape them? How did that influence you as a parent?
You see, they grew up in that atmosphere. The only influence I think I left was, and which probably didn't reach, because it has to come from both parents. Only yesterday I was talking to my younger daughter, and I said, you used to complain. You used to complain to your mama that while playing a game, some computer game or some such game, why is Papa so serious? And I remember my answer, that I believe that game is for winning.
Ooh.
As Jawaharlal Nehru had, and wise people have said, that playing is the thing. I said, no, it's winning. If you must aim at winning. Only then you take it seriously. If you take your game seriously, you'll take your life seriously.
So you are a big proponent of winning.
Oh yes, I am.
But how have you then faced failures? I mean, during, they could be, I'm sure there must be quite a few failures also on the way.
Pretty badly, I have to admit. I don't take rejections. I don't take failures very well. I don't know if anyone does. I can bravely say, of course, who will know that I take it? Oh, it doesn't matter because I'm a student of the Gita. Sukha dukhe samay krutva labha labho jaya jayo, which means jaya ajay ko ek samajh tu. Yes, it's a good attitude. But when it really happens, then what do? I tend to brood a lot. But I think that brooding gets me out of it, because while brooding, I keep analyzing what went wrong. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be the circumstances. What went wrong, and work at it.
The Vishal Gondal Show will be right back after this break.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I show how good intentions can lead to bad outcomes. I've had guests like Jayaprakash Narayan, Shruti Rajgopalan, Alex Tabarrok, Shikha Dalmia and Vivek Kaul on this show. And we've covered subjects from politics, economics, foreign policy to even parenting.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
So what you just talked about, right? These learnings. Now, what are the 3 relevant learnings from Mahabharata which you think people can adopt in today's life?
Look, basic difference.
Because once you said that winning is everything, that's what you said, but Mahabharata doesn't say that. Mahabharata is about, you just contradicted and said it is not about winning or losing, it's about playing the game.
No, Mahabharata says if you are on the right side,
then you'll win.
No, then it does not matter whom you are hurting.
Okay.
This
That's the
is
whole Krishna,
Arjun's dilemma.
Yeah.
This is Hamlet. It's not much different. Popularly it is said, and it's not too far from the truth, that Ramayana is what you should be doing. Mahabharata is what you should avoid doing. You'll know what to avoid doing. Yes, there are important takeaways from it. One is that trust no one. Because people are really made of attitudes. Whatever the reasons of those attitudes. The 18 days of a Kurukshetra war tells you that if the war had been fought straight, the result would have been different. The killing of Arjun, the killing of his son, of Drona, the Dharmaputra, Yudhishthira, even he lies. But he's not actually lying. He's saying, yes, Ashwathama died. Was that an elephant or a man? But Ashwathama died. Ashwathama hatayati narova kunjarova. So, trust no one. Keep doing what you have decided to do what is your dharma. Now, dharma means karma. The entire Gita, which, by the way, is my most favorite book. So, that was one. That if you are on the right side of morals, which is dharma and adharma, these are simply terms, then you are bound to win. But you must be better than yourself. You have to keep bettering yourself.
You only compete with yourself.
Only compete with yourself. And the third is that actually this Kurukshetra is our everyday life.
Is life.
Is life. And the dharma you're talking about is what you do, your karma. That destiny has a very important component called your efforts.
So destiny is matter of choice or chance?
Oh, it's both, completely. My destiny was shaped by my birth at such and such place to such and such parents. Place is also important. And added to it are two things. One, my efforts, and two, my decisions. But yes, there might be something like destiny. And yes, planets might be affecting us. I'm an agnostic, but I strongly believe that yes, planets do. They have a path decided. Probably nothing to do with your being religious or non-religious. You see, if a little satellite of the Earth, which is the moon, can bring low and high tide,
high tides,
or almost run the world, then what about those Mars and Jupiter and...
Yeah, they can have a huge impact. So, all of these things, what impact did it have on your writing? How did you mature as a writer in your early days to now?
It started in a very... You see, I've always had, in my career, I've always had big breaks. It seemed to me that my destiny was pushing me towards this. I actually once failed in my engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a drop. I was here for 2 years, but I did not have... I was a Bhimani, not an Ambani. I did not have the Dhirubhai Ambani guts. By the way, he said, his secret of success, not only focus, but guts.
Guts.
In one word. But I probably did not have enough courage to start my struggle then. If I had, I would have had the advantage, the time advantage, on my side. This way, I picked up some good knowledge as engineer, MBA, etc. I was pursuing these 3-4 careers at the same time: television anchor, stage anchor, voiceover artist in various languages. Now, for every recording, you normally have to tweak scripts. And whenever I was there, I was asked to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that people were noticing, or I wasn't doing it to show off. I was just doing it so that, the recording gets better and over. So once this person called Sridhar Kshirshagar,
the Khandan director,
man, he was planning it, and he said that, here, I want you to write dialogue. I was surprised. I prodded on, worked for about 2 days, and I went back to him. I said, look, I've done about 1/3 of the episode, and see if you like it. Instead of saying that, no, I can't do it. Remember, I earlier said, never say I can't do it.
I have not yet learned.
I have not yet learned, or I'm learning, or I will learn. So I said, see how you like it. So he saw. In 10 minutes, he said, this is what I want. I said, fine. You're on. I'll be faster now.
Wow.
And it started. And then I think I matured very fast. I learned that he'd written screenplay. I had to write dialogue. That in less words, you say more.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, how I matured, I I think I became, as a writer, I became less of a show-off. Every writer is a show-off. You write a poem, you are showing off your feelings, your passions, and sometimes in bigger words, sometimes in words that rhyme magically, things like that.
Yeah.
So I started maturing a little, became more with the story rather than me.
So over this period, have you then developed some kind of rituals which kind of make you perform better? Do you do something on a daily basis or just before a recording or just when you wake up? I know that you get your afternoon nap, which is very important to you. So what are these rituals?
You see, when I started my profession, as I say in Hindi, जब मैंने इस व्यवसाय में अपना होश संभाला, so I had worked out an entire rigmarole, an entire exercise, vocal exercises. And don't forget, I was dealing with 3 languages, at least 4 languages. So, and I had to do it myself. There was no one to teach. I went to a person called Sam Barclay-Hill, who was a remnant of the British Raj, who was the top voiceover artist, and he simply refused. He was being candid. He said, why should I teach you? You will overtake me in 3 years' time. Why should I? So I thought, of course, he was giving me a compliment I didn't deserve. So I said, no, sir, but thank you for these words. What do you mean, thank you for that? I mean, I said, do you mean that because of that you will not teach me? I'm prepared to work hard. I'm prepared to pay. I said, no, why should I? This is my profession. I don't want another person to enter, or at least not overtake me.
Don't want to give my trade secrets away.
Getting off, walking down his stairs, I promised myself, why did he say 3 years? It'll be 3 months. And that surely happened. I worked out an entire course, from timbre to pace to tone, everything. And recording was not an easy option like today it is.
Yeah,
today it's so easy.
Yeah, tapes.
You speak into your SMS or even your WhatsApp and see how correct you are. You'll know how clear, what's the clarity, diction. It's very simple today.
So if Google or Siri can recognize your voice, you are on a good track.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. So that's when I really promised myself or threatened myself years ago that I really enjoy doing it. What? The struggle, the learning. There's to be poetry reading, there's to be dramatic reading, there'd be narration reading until I was happy, and a given portion, notes made, referred to again, so that I told myself that the day I stop enjoying it, I should prepare to give up the profession, because then it'd be dishonest to continue. Then it'd be like call girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're giving me money, so I'll do this for you. No, if I'm not involved in it, if I really don't like it, why do it? So that still continues whenever I get time. And how do I do on a normally regular basis? There are portions that I read to myself. Read so that I can hear myself. But I think the good thing about me is that I hear very critically. Most people don't. They're too easily happy with themselves. Most singers, for example. I'm so surprised that he can't make out that he's singing Kansura or Besura. How come? Because he's very happy with himself. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I keep finding fault.
Yourself, yeah.
Keep finding fault with myself.
Because you're trying to perform better than your last performance, while
No. That is, I wish that was so. But I first should like my last performance.
So which are the 3 rituals? So one is, of course, you sleep, you take a power nap in the afternoon. That recharges you. Do you do something to like exercise your voice? Do you do any kind of yoga?
You. Yeah.
So,
that's Yoga is pranayam is part of it. So your breath is longer because you might need that during narrations. The power nap you talk about, it's very useful when you want to do a recording on the second part of the day. Because otherwise, by that time, you've used your voice so much.
Your batteries, yeah.
Really, not only recharging it, it comes back in tune, sur. I can easily make out. Like, I know that now I'm losing it. After my nap, I'll be okay. So that, it could be an excuse too.
So, what are the 3 books? I mean, you have written several books yourself, but what are the 3 books you would recommend other people to read?
Not recommend. I can't recommend.
Or if not recommend, or which was your favorite 3 books?
My most favorite book has been, you can call it very boring, but the Gita. First, for its language, the beauty of its language. From whatever little Sanskrit I know. And then it's, even if you read its literal translation, it's so beautifully written. I sincerely don't think it's a religious book. It's a book, a guide to art of living. The most important parts of the Gita have nothing to do with any deity.
Absolutely.
Other are a choice between Ghalib and Sahir. I don't know of anyone who's written as well. It really touches, it's very layered. Each time you seriously read, you find some new meaning.
Wow. What was the last gadget you bought which is under 10,000 rupees, which you use a lot?
Wi-Fi modem.
Wi-Fi modem. The one with the Geo.
Geo, yes. So I don't have a Geo phone, but Wi-Fi modem, so that I can be connected when I want. And it works very well. And I think this country should thank the person who brought this at this price. Wow. They did it once, about 15 years ago.
Yeah, with the CDMA network, yeah. And now Geo is definitely a revolution. Recently, you were also starred in a very interesting movie called ISIS. Tell me more about that. I mean, that's quite a movie with all the global terrorism going on, and your role was specifically very, very controversial in a way. You were the imam.
That's right, a liberal imam.
Liberal imam.
They don't like him. They don't like liberals. And definitely not liberal Maulvis. It's called ISIS, Enemies of Humanity. It was earlier called Zehen, Mastishk, your mind. And suddenly it was changed to this. I was so scared. I said, I'm not doing it. And I was first writing it. I wrote dialogue. That's the important part, according to me. This came much later. And you see, this is not a spoof. This is a direct attack on ISIS, the way they misguide the youth and the way they train them and what they perpetrate. So I said, I'll continue doing it. I'll not leave it, in spite of the title. Because the title attracts the wrong kind of attention. It was wonderful writing it. This is truly Urdu. Now you have to write in Urdu, but it should be comprehensible in India too, not simply Pakistan. And where the role is concerned, it was not my choice at all. They saw my interview, I think Rajya Sabha TV interview, the adless channel. Yeah, they're supposed to be very prestigious. And they said that we want this person. I was quite surprised, but when we started doing it, I really liked it. we're still waiting for a good release. We had some problem with the censors.
I can imagine, yeah, with the name like ISIS, yeah.
Not name they didn't mind at all, but there were some words, some sentences, which taken out of context can be disastrous.
Got it.
And I entirely agreed with them.
Got it.
So,
So what are we going to now see over the next 5, 10, 15 years? What have you planned?
I'm working on an app, which is a multilingual audio app. There's a website I'm working on, which is an amalgam of audio, IT, and books.
Audio, IT, and books.
Books. Because I think, and when you say books, it also means stories. And when you say books and stories, it means so many languages, so many genres. One of the most important genres, according to me, is children's books. Just look at our diaspora around the world. Indian diaspora. Indian diaspora means about 10 languages, 12 languages. NRIs living in the US want, let's say, some Saxena couple living in the US want their child to maybe not speak Hindi so fluently, but at least understand. At least savor your heritage. Be proud, begin with understanding. मगर वो भी कैसे करें बेचारे, ना वो हिंदी अच्छी बोल सकते हैं, उनके पास कहानियां नहीं है. If you have downloadable stories in all these languages, it has already started, but I think they're wrongly planned, etc. So there'll be several of these. There'll be more stage concerts I'll be doing, I'll be presenting, which will be theme concerts, not merely songs. Like we've planned one, I think I mentioned, Santvani, not quite up my alley, but Santvani, Wisdom for the Worried World. There'll be several I recently did in the Uttar Pradesh for Hindi Seva Nidhi. Hindi prachar ke liye. But that's quite boring, actually. They said that we want some interesting music program. I called it Bollywood ki Hindi Boli. Because Bollywood's Hindi has borrowed from so many languages, so many bolis. It turned out to be, went through the roof, turned out to be a very interesting program. So, several of these. And my recordings continue.
Wow, that's the excitement keeps going on. It's been an absolute pleasure, Harishji, having you here. But I want to end this conversation by asking you one question. That what if you had a time machine? You are Samay. So what would you do if you had a time machine? Where would you go? Who would you meet if you had a time machine?
That leads to so many stories I could write, so many films I could write. I'd like to be part of our independence struggle. I'd like to explain I'd like to go back to 1857 and tell our Shaheeds people that you're fighting for the wrong side. I believe that the British have given us more than they've taken away. I'm sorry, I might be berated for it. But it was the British who, within just 225 years, have established about, 16,000 educational institutions in our country. And our country today is what its education is. In the earlier 600 years, there was not one educational institution. You show me one, I will stop talking about it.
So you'd want to go in the history and change
our freedom struggle. Of course we want freedom. Of course we want freedom. I'm not against Victoria Terminus being called Shivaji Terminus. Nothing wrong. we are definitely more proud of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj than Victoria. But probably this is not the way.
And what are the words you want the world to remember you with? You have spoken so many words, millions of words, but if you had a few words which you want people to remember you with, what would those words be?
It's like my friend telling his wife on phone कि मैं अभी बात नहीं कर सकता, मेरे पास हरीश भिमानी नहीं है. That say what you will, but he was a meticulous and an interesting guy whom we didn't want to stop talking.
And you have any particular phrases or words which you want people to remember? Your words.
They normally know me by two. One is the Main Samay Hoon, and the other is Devi or Sajjano.
Devi or Sajjano. That's amazing. Thanks a lot. It has been an absolute pleasure. What I'm going to do is, since you've been in all these amazing things, we're going to get you back on the show.
Sure.
So that's one promise we're going to do. But I think we've covered so many aspects of your life. It's been an absolute pleasure to count you as one of my dearest friends and brother, as we say. And in this case, I am the Bade Bhai and you are the...
That's right.
The Chote Bhai. Thanks a lot once again. Bye.
Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure.
There she stands, a podcast addict. Outside the bank, having travelled several miles to get in with other poor souls like her. The journey, though daunting for this youngling, will have some comfort because she has downloaded her favourite podcast. You can see more of her species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.